In this video, we will listen to the exposition part, and that's bars 21 to 65, and that's the quintet for piano and winds in E flat major, K452. So this is video 2. If you missed the first one, there I discussed the first 20 bars, the largo. So we're busy with classical music, and there's some things that we always have to remember. Because we're so used to Baroque music now, because we did that last term, that we have to understand. So let's just recap what I explained in video 1. In the previous video, I mentioned the following. What makes classical music special? First one, clear and balanced sound. Everything sounds clear and it's not too busy. Simple but beautiful melodies. The tunes, they're often smooth and singable. You can hum them easily. Question and answer style. Music often has phrases that sound like a question. We will also see in the first subject how balanced the 2-bar phrases are. Okay? And the instruments, what is so important of chamber music is that we have a musical dialogue between the different instruments. Now, the use of dynamics. Do you remember how sparse the dynamics were written in the Baroque era? And we had terrace dynamics. Now here we can hear how the music go louder and softer. Sonata form and structure. There's always a structure in classical music. And today we're going to look at the exposition. And the orchestra gets bigger. So the orchestra started to grow. And of course, this is not an orchestra. This is another very important part of classical music, and that's chamber music. And instrumental music became very important. And then the emphasis was on beauty and elegance. Mentioned sonata form. Now let's look at what is sonata form. Sonata form is a way composers organize music, like how a story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, or like a book has different chapters. It was super popular in the classical period, especially with Mozart and Beethoven. So think of it like a musical story with 3 parts. And in this video, I am going to explain the exposition. So we're going to meet the characters. You will hear 2 main tunes today. We call them themes. We also we'll see the word subjects. The one is usually strong and confident, like a hero, and the second is gentler or contrasting, like a friend or a rival. And these themes are in different keys. We will see today that the first theme is in the tonic key, E flat. And between the 2 characters, I will have a transition or a link. And during that link, I will go to my B flat. And the second one is gentler, and we will hear the contrast there. And we know now that the themes will be in different keys. But because the music is so diatonic, if they modulated in classical music, it stayed with the friends around the tonic key. So easy words here. This is where the story begins and introduces who's who. Now next week, we're going to look at the development. And that is where the adventure starts. And the music plays around with the themes, like mixing them up. We will have a lot of key changes, and it will be drama, and it will feel kind of stormy and exciting. And that is the contrast that I have in a sonata form. The part of a sonata is the recapitulation, the ending, and a coda. We will also see that with the exposition today, that we have a codetta, so a short little coda. So a happy return of the original themes, but now we don't have a modulation. They both stay in E flat. It feels like coming home with everything resolved. Easy words here, everyone comes back safe, and the story ends peacefully. So today we're going to listen to the exposition, and that exposition will be repeated. So let's first listen to our music. After this, I will analyze what we have listened to. So let's first listen to this. So that's the end of the largo. First theme. Tutti. Transition. So up to 42 I have the transition. And there it modulated. Second subject. Now the Codetta. Now you can hear the syncopation there. You hear the imitation there. Now that will be repeated. First subject. And you hear the ornamentation there. Syncopation. Transition from 29. And there I go to B flat. Second subject with that turn in the piano. Lots of chromatic notes there. Piano plays in thirds there. Codetta. Lots of scalic work there. Syncopation. I want you to listen to your music while you study and also read what we have there. So in your notes, I'm just going to show you what we have in the notes. The first subject, part 21 to 28. Melodies are sometimes decorated with ornaments, trills in the oboe and piano in bars 23 and 24. And there I showed it to you. And a typical classical use of balanced phrases can be seen in the first subject. So I have 2-bar phrases that I can see there. And the first theme starts with syncopation, and it's in E flat major. Now in this first subject, there are examples of playing in compound 6 and octaves, such as bar 27. I showed it to you. You see the octaves that I have there, and between the G and the E flat, I have a 6, A flat, F, 6 apart. The piano left hand and right hand are in octaves, a compound 6 apart, and I see that the clarinet and the bassoon, they double the right hand notes and the left hand notes. So that is the clarinet in B flat. You will see that the F, when they see an F, it sounds like an E flat. So that is a repeat, okay, and they double the right hand, and here I see the left hand. In what you see there, where the transition is quite long, bars 29 to 42, the transition in the exposition has piano arpeggio decorations. I also see a lot of octave movements and lots of scalic patterns and triplets. So if you look at that bar, you see the use of the triplets. The second subject that starts in bar 43 is now in B flat. Starts on the phrase there that I see it's a little bit more gentle, and it is from 43 to 50. And I also have clear phrases that, and then that is followed by quite a long codetta. And there are many examples of perfect cadences, and I want you to go to bars 60 and 61 to see that perfect cadence in B flat major. That in classical music, the music is mostly diatonic, but if you look at this example in bar 44 and 45, you see chromatic notes, notes that do not belong to the key. So you see that E natural, I see the F sharp, and that's definitely not part of B flat. And there I see a turn in the music in bar 45, so a nice ornamentation. I see the sparse use of dynamics and also words like dolce. Word in classical music is Alberti bass, and that is where I have a specific pattern in the left hand, where I have my root and a note on top, and then my third note is at the bottom, and then a note at top. And we don't have that a lot in this music. But here in 52, I see one example of an Alberti bass. It is actually very good. He was very good with creating excitement. And one of the things how to create excitement is with syncopation. And in 54, you see all those green I marked in. It's wonderful examples of syncopation where I give a weak accent now, a weak beat and accent now. So listen to that part, marked F. The wonderful example. You see, semi-quaver rest, and then I put my accent on that weak beat, and that's in bar 57. So here in bar 60, that is what they mentioned there, that I see a perfect cadence there. In B flat, you see the tonic note there of B flat and the dominant. Okay, and the players sometimes enter off the beat, such as the wind in bar 60 and full ensemble in bar 66 and 67. See, the ending ends in B flat, and then everything is repeated. Music papers are so important. Good luck with this week's work.